Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Shine Spiritual on YouTube. My name is Sheena, and I'm here to talk about health today and why health goes hand in hand with spirituality. Some of you who are a little newer to spirituality might not quite get the connection between a healthy body and a healthy spirit. But I'm here to tell you when you have that alignment of mind, body, spirit, magical things can happen. So while you may not see the connection right away, I'm here to draw that connection for you today and tell you a little bit about why health is so important if you're leading a spiritual life. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about, high vibe foods and low vibe foods and my day-to-day routine that I sort of live by in terms of healthy eating and some exercise too. And some of you might think, okay, well, why should I be taking advice from this person? I am on this journey myself. I am just sort of transitioning some of my older habits into new, healthier life habits. And so while, I haven't reached any sort of final destination in terms of my health knowledge by any means, I'm always learning and researching. I have just recently gone through a bit of a transition. So, and it has very much to do with my spirituality. So I'm here to share that experience with you and just, take what resonates and leave the rest as always. And hopefully leave some questions in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer them if I can. Otherwise, I'll find someone who can. So when I first started learning about spirituality, I did not take health into account at all. I was a mess. I was highly stressed. My nervous system was just thrashed. I was working a corporate job and lots of hours, and I had 2 small kids at home. I was probably 50 to 70 pounds overweight, if not more, eating like crap, carbs. I was still eating meat at the time. I will preface this whole thing with everybody needs something different. Everybody has a different journey. Everybody's bodies are different. So what works for one person may not work for you, and that's okay. I'm just here to share my story in case any of you are sort of embarking on a similar journey and you just want another perspective to just gain some insight into. I'm not here to push my approach onto you, and by all means, I am not a medical professional, so if you have questions that are more suited to a medical professional, then I strongly recommend naturopathic medicine as an alternative route to, wellness and well-being and health. And I do see naturopath on the regular and a chiropractor as well. So still keep going to see those medical professionals, and, my advice is not medical advice. So I think before I go down the path of talking about health, I think it's important to just, for those of you who are newer to spirituality, and maybe haven't gone down some of the rabbit holes yet, I'm just going to give a brief overview so that we're all sort of on the same page in terms of what I'm talking about. So in a nutshell, we are living in a quantum experience. And I'm not going to go in depth into quantum, the quantum universe, the quantum multiverse right now, because it's a very not dense, but it's a very intense topic. I will just say that what that means is that everything is happening right here, right now, in this now moment, and now, and now, and now. And now. So there is only ever the eternal now moment, the present moment. And that's why, being in the present moment is so important, because everything that's happening here in our current physical 3D reality and or in any other dimension is happening right now. So if you want to make a difference, improve yourself, or, make progress along your spiritual path, it's all going to happen right now, or now, or now. or now. Okay, do you get my point? Okay, so we're living in a quantum reality. There are different layers or dimensions to this reality based on frequency. And so right now we are in a very physical, dense, third dimensional reality. We also have dimensions beyond that. Fourth dimension, for example, fifth dimension, for example. We're all striving for fifth and beyond. And the fourth dimension is really the dream realm, the etheric realm, where we go when we have our dreams, and where all of our sort of subconscious thoughts go, where our shadow self lives, if you will. That is the fourth dimension. The thing is that our physical bodies are the embodiment of all of those dimensions in a physical vessel. So when you hear terms like, my body is my temple, my body is my vessel, people aren't kidding. Like, your body really is your temple in that respect, because not only is it this life that is affected by your body's health and your body's well-being and what you're putting into your body, it's all the other dimensions of existence as well. And I know this is a bit like mind-blowing to fathom, but when you heal your physical vessel, you are actually healing the universe. Because as within, so without. As above, so below. If you've heard of those things before, research them. Everything in the universe is, mere projections of you. Your external reality is an as without projection of what's going on within. And so that goes for your physical body too. However healthy your mind and body are, so too is your spirit. So the best thing that you can do to raise your vibration and to, improve the health of you in all faculties, in all facets of your existence, is to improve and heal your physical vessel. And so when I was asleep, I didn't care what I put into my body. Honestly, I was drinking pop and eating sugar and fried foods. I mean, everything that's promoted in today's society, McDonald's. I haven't had McDonald's probably in a very, very long time, because the universe just basically started making me sick. Like, I would get mad food poisoning every single time I had McDonald's. And it's poison. That's why. It's straight up poison. And I'm sorry to say that. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. Of course, your body can transmute just about anything. But if you don't realize that it takes a toll eating foods like that, then you're in denial. Because a lot of the foods put out by corporate America and countries all over the world are designed to make and keep you sick. And so if you haven't gone down some of the rabbit holes about, the corporate world and the motivations there, I would just urge you to sort of start venturing down some of those rabbit holes. Just if you have a belief, try and research the opposite side of that belief. If you've been taught something all your life, maybe just have a look at what the opposite perspective has to say, because there's a lot of information out there that, if you haven't already uncovered, if you're a starseed or a light worker and you've been at this for a little while, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Basically, everything we've been taught, everything we've been programmed to believe is a total lie. And if you believe that shoes and sunglasses are a conspiracy, then you've come to the right channel. I'll just leave it at that. And all I can say is, if none of this is making any sense or hitting home, just start researching health and spirituality, as within, so without, as above, so below. And just remember that you actually are everything. You're the universe. You have to imagine that. I know everybody sort of looks out there and they imagine source as this great big ball of energy or fire, and then they imagine, smaller suns and planets and that are all, a million times bigger than us out there. But just imagine for a second if your body was a reflection of that universe out there. If source or, the central sun was, your heart energy, that spark that makes your heart beat, and that everything else in your body, all the vessels and the nerves, really the nerves, are that super highway of information that the universe is. Like you've seen a universe or probably pictures of the universe, and they kind of look like synapses of your brain. You've probably seen galaxies that look like an iris of an eyeball, like those kinds of pictures where you compare nature and what's out there to, what we have in our body is like a tree looks like a lung, and, other things like that. Two ears together looks like a heart, just there's lots of cool memes and pictures out there that sort of show as within, so without, as above, so below. So basically, your body is the universe. And so when you heal your body, you are healing the universe, really. And so when you close your heart or choose a dense thought or a dense belief, a limiting belief, for instance, you take some of your life force and it's being drawn to that belief. And so I call those like little wormholes, or that some of my teachers have taught me. That's how they view it, as little wormholes that are siphoning off your energy. Well, when we heal those energetic experiences, those traumas, those triggers, those projections, those limiting beliefs, or that programming, we can bring that life force back to our main source. And as we sort of, I think, bring those fractals of ourselves back to that center point, back to our heart, that's when as we bring more of our light into that whole center, we're bringing more and more and more of our higher self in, because we're taking those fractals and we're pulling them back in and experiencing more of source, which is actually within us. And again, everyone thinks, oh, source is out there. No, it's actually in here. So that's just, in a nutshell, why the physical vessel and keeping the physical vessel healthy and, keeping energy flowing. That's another thing. Your body is like a battery. Your body takes the energy from source in through the crown chakra and runs it through all of your other chakras. And that's how we feel emotions. That's how our physical vessel works so seamlessly. That's what helps us, that energy that we're bringing in keeps us from getting sick. It gives us the life force that we need to, take on the challenges of life and every day, and the joys of life too. So when we can keep our physical vessel clean and toxin free, and when we can feed it very light, full, meaning foods that are grown with natural sunlight. So fruits, leafy greens, vegetables, anything that's grown organically under sunlight is like the ultimate food to feed your physical vessel, to feed your battery, if you will. Because it's like if your battery ran on sunlight, basically, and source life force energy, when you're eating those live, organic, fresh fruits and vegetables, you're actually like feeding your body more sunlight and more life force. But when we're eating dead animals or chemicals or toxins that are, blocking receptors and, again, not a doctor, but like these, the things that clog up our system and dim our light and choke off our light to certain areas of our body, or bog up our liver or our adrenal system or whatever it might be. Those things are siphoning light. They're dense. They weigh our vibration down. I once had a teacher that said, your food can determine the timeline you're on. You choose a fresh strawberry or carrot stick out of the garden and you're on, a high timeline. You go choose a hamburger with meat, like processed chemical meat, you're putting yourself on a low timeline right then and there, just based on what you're putting in your body, never mind what thoughts you're thinking or what mood you're in. So food has, and what you put in your body, including skin and healthcare products. Like I stopped wearing makeup for the longest time. I'm wearing some today, but I've switched all over to like natural mineral makeup, organic shampoos. If you're gonna wear deodorants or anything, make sure, please make sure they don't have aluminum in them. Anything with aluminum, metals, no, please axe it. Throw out cleaner. You don't need cleaners. If you have some vinegar in your house and some essential oils, you don't need cleaners, and baking soda. You don't need cleaners for anything. That is the makeup industry, the hair and skincare industry, the cleaner industry. They are all, I swear to God, they work for big pharma. And I probably just shadow banned myself from saying that, but do really be mindful of what you're putting on your skin as well as in your body. Chuck out the cleaners, chuck out the chemicals. Unless you're using like organic hairsprays and stuff, chuck it. It's not bringing light. It's not helping you ascend in vibration. If anything, it's having the opposite effect. And a lot of these things have cancer-causing ingredients in them. My comment about shoes and sunglasses earlier. I'm quite serious when I say, like, if you think they're a conspiracy theory, you're you've come to the right channel. But sunscreen too. Like sunscreen. I'm a redhead. I understand the necessity of sunscreen. I've seen a few posts about people just saying like, I cannot live without sunscreen. And like, there are some good natural mineral, zinc products out there on the market that are clean and safe to use. But if you are still using a regular off-the-shelf drugstore sunscreen, please stop. Please don't. Put it away. It's going to cause you cancer, not prevent it. So, just putting that out there, despite what may happen with this video when I'm done. Okay, and again, take it or leave it. If it doesn't resonate, you don't have to keep watching. It's all good. I'm just sharing what's worked for me and what I've learned along the way. And those are some biggies. And I will say, as just an aside, it took me a long time with the sunscreen thing, a good couple of years of just gradually introducing myself to sun in the early day and the early morning, because that early day, early morning sun kind of gives you the base that you need to not get completely fried during the midday and late afternoon sun, which can be a little harsher. And, there's nothing like a good button-up cotton shirt and a hat to help you as well as you're adjusting. But over time, your skin will adjust. I still get red, but it's not painful. It's not a painful burn anymore. Anyways, that's a bit of a tangent. But just don't put anything in your body that is not natural if you can. And go easy on yourself, especially in the beginning when you don't know where to find everything and you're learning new ways of eating and new recipes and new, you'll go through the whole, are nightshades good for inflammation or not? What else has been another, is soy good or not? All I can say is the rule that I've kind of lived by so far and has worked for me, and I felt a really big difference, is just go organic wherever possible. Depending on where you live and your accessibility to like fresh organic fruits and vegetables, if you can't find organic, just try. Just try, and if you can't find it, then that's okay once in a while. It's not gonna be, I mean, if you've been eating McDonald's up until now, like, you're gonna be fine, but just know that it has an effect on your vibration and every multidimensional facet of yourself. So just, yeah, I'm not here to make anybody feel bad. I have been the worst offender as when it's come to, bad foods that are not serving me. I just won't do that anymore, though, because it's so important to me and my spiritual progress and getting to know myself better to have that clean, clear vessel so energy can flow freely and so that I can have the most possible access to my spiritual gifts and intuition as well. Because I find when I eat sort of low vibrational foods, like meat and anything sprayed, like anything GMOs, genetically modified products of any kind, sugars, I feel it after. I am in a bad mood. I will snap at my family more often. I'm more moody. It definitely doesn't serve me. And then when I'm eating smoothies and I'm eating fresh fruits and vegetables and all the good stuff, then I feel super high vibrational and I can almost feel that light that I'm consuming. So, and smoothies are a great way to get the leafy greens in without really having to like eat salads every day. Because I'm not a salad person. I'm not talking about like just eating salads every day, Right now, I'll tell you, I live off. Actually, before I tell you sort of my daily routine, I want to show you too a few books that have really made a big difference for me on my health journey recently. Okay, so this is an author. I don't know if any of you have heard of Anthony William, the medical medium, but he has several books that I swear by. All of his information is, for me, top notch. He's got the celery juice book too. And this one's about life-changing foods and liver rescue. I think the only one I'm missing is like the thyroid one. But I strongly recommend the Anthony William Medical Medium books. And he got me onto the daily routine of drinking freshly pressed celery juice in the morning. You can have lemon water half an hour before if you want. I sometimes do that depending on how early I wake up. And then just having 16 ounces of fresh celery juice on an empty stomach. You would be shocked at the positive effects that I've seen from celery juice alone, and just having that glass of celery juice on an empty stomach, like, oh man, it's helped me drastically with inflammation in particular. So I highly recommend reading, and I am not sponsored or anything like that, but just Anthony William is a go-to resource for me in terms of like health advice. And again, take what resonates and leave the rest, but he's an excellent source of information. And one of the things that I first did when I started on this journey was invested in a good juicer. So I have the Nama J2, again, not sponsored, just sharing what's worked for me. It was a little more on the expensive side, but I managed to convince my folks to go in on it with me, and so I do some juicing for them from time to time too, because it's really good for them, and I kind of got them on the medical medium train. So highly recommend a juicer and a blender and the medical medium books, and to take a walk down some of those rabbit holes about shoes and sunglasses and sunscreen, and really the shoe thing is about grounding, because if you're not grounding your battery and getting some energy flow into the earth, then you you can tend to hold on to chaotic energies for longer. And when you're not grounding that energy, it can be really challenging, especially when we're having lots of high frequency, solar flares and things coming off the sun. It's important to ground yourself. So all of our shoes are made with rubber, which is an insulation, and it keeps us from grounding. So just be sure to take your shoes off once in a while and put your feet on the earth. And same with the sunglasses, just sunlight is healing. Sunlight is healing and upgrading, and you can actually look at the sun and it will improve your eyesight, not damage it. I mean, don't look at it at noon or anything like that, but half an hour after sunrise and half an hour before sunset, you can look straight at the sun, and I've definitely experienced healing benefits from that. But do be careful, because that can be very powerful. Again, maybe something you want to research is sun gazing, but I enjoy sun gazing. I do. Just make sure you're grounding yourself at the same time. That's going to be important. Okay, so now in terms of my day-to-day sort of routine, on a good day, on an ideal great day, which is not every day, I will have celery juice in the morning or some lemon water to start, and then half an hour after lemon water, celery juice, and then half an hour after that, usually have the medical medium detox smoothie. And you can Google that. Anthony William has a great blog where all of this information is posted. He's on Instagram too. And don't quote me on this, but I believe it is 1 cup of orange juice, 2 bananas, 2 cups of wild organic blueberries, and organic fruit wherever possible. He puts Atlantic dulse, which is a bit of seaweed, in there. You can get that from your local health food store. Spirulina powder and barley wheatgrass juice powder. And I always add a little bit of bentonite clay as well. It's good for detoxing. Oh, and cilantro, like a good solid cup full of cilantro, and just a teaspoon each of the spirulina and barley wheatgrass juice powder, and bentonite clay as well. So the bentonite clay is my own ad, but you can look up the recipe from the medical medium. It's called his detox smoothie, and so that's one of my faves. I actually just had it, but be sure to brush your teeth after, because you can go out with blueberry bits all in your teeth. That's the one thing about smoothies, the blueberry bits getting in your teeth. Other than that, I was on a big avocado kick for a long time. And I still do get organic or grass-fed uncultured butter, because I haven't gone fully vegan. We eat vegan at home a lot because my husband is quite a strict vegan, but I still will have a little bit of butter and a little bit of cheese from time to time. Those are sort of the two things. I'm totally switched over on the yogurt. I go for an oat-based or coconut milk-based product. Riviera is really nice. I like the Riviera coconut milk yogurts. But yeah, just don't really eat meat anymore, just because it is low vibe, and because I want to start supporting the new earth and the future of what sustainable living really looks like. And unless I'm in my backyard farming my own chickens and or my own cow, I really don't feel good about contributing to an unsustainable and just bad for the earth, bad for the animals too. I don't want to contribute to that low vibrational practice and on the planet. So I'm just taking responsibility for what I'm eating. And if I do from time to time, if I go to a family member's house and they'll serve a meat dish, I'll have a little bit on the side maybe, and just depending on what it is. I just straight up won't eat red meat. I've never liked it. I'm not a big fan. I just won't anymore. But I'll have the odd bite of chicken, but I'm thanking it and I'm sending so much love to that animal, because honestly, it's only a matter of time before I just cut it out completely. Yeah, because it's just not necessary. We eat so many, like we do Taco Tuesdays and we're eating like lentil tacos with guacamole, and my husband gets a dairy-free sour cream, and we've got the salsa there, and it's delicious. It's the cheese is the one thing I have trouble with. My husband does the Daya cheese, but I haven't quite, it just doesn't quite do it for me. So if you have a good vegan shredded cheese out there that you recommend, let me know, because I'm still not quite ready to make the switch. But I imagine it's going to happen soon, because yeah, I can feel the pull. I can feel the pull to New Earth of just, yeah, more sustainable ways of living, and just recognizing that all those animals have consciousness. And I'm not here to preach. If you want to go and have a steak and just thank it, bless it, know that there is a life given up for that, and enjoy your steak. I'm not judging. I still eat meat from time to time. Fish in particular, I still eat from time to time, like maybe once a week or once every couple weeks we'll have fish. But 9 times out of 10, we're having bean burgers, we're having lentil tacos, we're having veggie spaghetti, we're having veggie chili, vegan spaghetti, vegan chili now. So yeah, it's kind of, and I have heard a lot of people go with that 80-20 rule. Like if you can go vegan, organic, that's great. But if, 20-25% of the time you're, dipping into fish or cheese or whatever it might be, like enjoy it. I think it's Tommy Johanni says, better to have a happy donut than a sad salad. And I love that, because it's so true. It depends so much on the vibration that you're carrying when you're eating it too. Are you feeling guilty about it the whole time? Then maybe it's not worth it. Should you be feeling guilty about it? Or is that just a program that you've installed in you, or a limiting belief that you've installed in you too? Because, it's okay to go and enjoy a popcorn at the movies, or, but if you are committed and you do want to only eat high vibrational foods, then maybe you're popping your own non-GMO corn at home and not putting anything on it, and using not seed oils, but avocado or olive oil or coconut oil instead. And that's just an example. But like, you don't have to, I don't feel guilty when I'm going to have a treat for myself. I don't. But I also don't feel called to have a treat as often as I did before. I'm using food as a fuel to fuel my spiritual life and my spiritual progress and my life force and my life energy. I'm not using it as like a distraction or a crutch or an escape the way that I was before. As soon as I would start feeling an uncomfortable feeling or an uncomfortable energy, I would automatically go to food for comfort, before. And now I'm going, opportunity for digging here, opportunity for shadow work here, opportunity for inner child work here. So I'm finding that, what was drawing me to food before is drawing me to spiritual work now. And then any healthy eating that I'm doing is only fueling that light, that spiritual work. And then when I do decide, like, tonight's going to be a chocolate night and I'm going to have some, like, dark organic chocolate or something like that, then I am in there and I'm enjoying it, and I'm not feeling guilty for a second, because like 80-90% of the time I'm feeding my body with the light force that it needs. So this is just my little experience in terms of, saving the universe, healing the universe by healing my body. Because there was a long time where I felt like I didn't really care enough, honestly, about myself. I didn't love myself enough to want to heal my body just for me. And that sounds horrible, I know. And it is horrible. That's where I was at the time. I didn't want it bad enough because I didn't care about myself enough. I didn't love myself enough. And it was only when I sort of realized, like, oh, well, if it will help me, like, with my spiritual progress, or if it will help clear, negative energies, well, then, okay, well, it might be worth my time now. And then because I've been doing this spiritual work, now I realize, like, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. This is a sacred vessel that we're given in this life, and the quality of the vessel determines the quality of the experience. So keep your vessel clean and happy, my friends, because then you're going to have a great experience. And I know it's hard. I didn't start all of my spiritual awakening and my sort of health journey at the same time. It was too overwhelming. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. I needed to uncover a little bit of my self-worth before I invested in this. But man, when I invested in it, I was all in. I mean, I didn't just half-ass it. I was throwing stuff out of my cupboard, and that was not necessary. I could have gradually introduced new things and slowly, but I was like, nope, I'm kind of an all or nothing person. Like, that's why I think balance, the number 8, and balance is a huge theme for me in my spiritual work, trying to find that balance of, right now, that 80-20, like, as long as you're being conscious of the choices that you're making and that you feel good about those choices, that's really what matters. That's really what matters. Are you conscious of the choice you're making, and do you feel good about the choice you're making? If you're not sure or the answer is no, do some inner work on that. Why not? Why not? Why are you not important enough to heal, to be well, to be healthy? And let me tell you, just on a macro scale, well, not depends on who you're talking about, but on my life of macro scale, I thought I would be sort of gone by 65, 70. Like, I never really intended to spend a long time on this earth. I just kind of accepted that, human quality of life was sort of going downhill, and I knew that I didn't treat my body very well, and I just sort of accepted that fate. And now I'm seriously wondering if I'm ever going to, perish in this life. I don't know, I've got lots of thoughts around that. I think it'll be on my timeline, though. I think it'll be on when I say. I feel like I could live as long as I want to, as long as I treat my body well and love myself and, continue to consume light. It's our bodies are quite miraculous, and I've noticed so much healing in the past while, just in, I don't know, just so many areas that lead me to believe that not only am I living well past 65 or 70, I feel quite confident that I'll live into my well beyond 100. Just based on the lifestyle that I'm living and that we've recently adopted. Of course, I can't, these are not guaranteed results. I can't guarantee everything, but that's my outlook on life. And that's how my outlook has shifted on life since introducing some of these health concepts, since reading Anthony Williams' books, since, definitely living a very close to vegan and vegetarian lifestyle, as much as possible. And, I've experienced some benefits as well. Moment. Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had a delivery at my door. My dog likes to go a little crazy when that happens. So, yeah, this has been a bit of a longer video, but just know that what you eat, what you consume is a critical part, I think, to ascension and to living on your optimal timeline. Can you live a spiritual life and eat McDonald's? Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can. Will you be on your optimal timeline? No. No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. We are organic beings. We are organic beings of light, and we need to eat organic light foods. That's what we're meant to be eating. And as I've sort of learned this and read the medical medium work and listened to other spiritual teachers speak about this, it actually makes eating more pleasurable. I didn't think I'd be able to say that because, eating kale is not as fun as, eating cookies, but there are nutritious cookies out there too. And I can have a regular cookie sometimes if I want to. But where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think that I didn't quite realize when I first started my spiritual journey how important healthy eating is. And what goes hand in hand with that too is regular movement. Remember, you're that battery. You're trying to get energy to flow through. And what better way to get energy unstuck than to move your body? So things like dancing and swimming and yoga are, especially yoga and dancing because it has that, and swimming for that matter, has breath work involved in it. Anything that gets your breath going, your breath moving, you're moving energy with the breath. I haven't been to yoga as much as I would have liked to in the last while because where we live, the yoga studios have had certain restrictions in place. But there's been lots of virtual offerings that have been great. And now I think the studios are back, opened things up again to everyone and are being a little more inclusive now. So I look forward to getting back on the mat soon and getting out there and getting my yoga practice back in the groove, because last summer I was doing so great and then it just got cut off. So I'm looking very much forward to getting back into the yoga studio and making that a part of my regular practice. But even just stretching your body, going for a walk around the neighborhood or in nature, ideally like in a forest or on some kind of little, it doesn't have to be a huge long hike, but just like getting out amongst the trees, hearing those birds chirping. It's going to be such food for the soul. And if you're already into nature and you're already doing some of these things, taking yoga, well, then you're already halfway there. And believe you me, I'm the first to say I was that person who was giving my sister a hard time about spending so much money on organic fruits and vegetables when, they spray everything anyway and organic doesn't really matter. And I was the biggest skeptic. And now I'm just, trying to do the best to consume as much light as possible. And because I've been shown another perspective. And when you think about it from that really macro perspective of, when you're healing the body, you're actually healing the universe. It becomes about more than just you. It's no longer just about you. It's about, helping the light in general. So just know that keeping your vessel healthy and clean and detoxifying it. Fasting has been really helpful for detox. Not only the detox smoothie I talked about and drinking lots of lemon and lime water, but I went on an 88-hour fast on my first time trying, and it was actually pretty easy. And I just drank water, like lemon water, for a few days, and I didn't yeah, I could have gone even longer, I think. I'm going to do another one soon. But fasting too. If you haven't looked into fasting and just your ability to give your body and your organs a bit of a rest from processing food all the time, that's another sort of limiting belief that we've been taught, is that you have to have 3 meals a day at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they all need to be big meals, and that you need to be having food and water all the time. It's just not true. It's just not true. I've even seen some people out there that do dry fasts with no water. That is a level that I don't feel fully ready for yet, but power to you if you feel like you can take on one of those dry fasts. But I have had, success with short 1, 2, 3 day, 3 day fasts, like water fasts. And you can do juicing fasts and smoothie fasts too. So if you're like, oh, I don't think I could go with just water, but maybe you could handle smoothies or juice, try that. Because you will be so surprised. And keep a little diary. What do you feel like after you've eaten lower, denser, like low vibe, denser foods? And then what do you feel like after you've gone, 2 or 3 days of just eating, or even a week of just eating only organic fruits and vegetables, or, light, high vibrational foods? What do you feel like? You'll notice a difference. I notice, like, we have pizza night Friday nights, and I get the Amy's organic pizza, or we'll make our own. And so I do feel like okay about it. I'm trying to get off the cheese, so I do have, anyway. But I can feel it. And even though it's, I think 75 or 80% organic ingredients, I feel the density of like the wheat, because it's been ground into flour. Like I would probably feel better if I was eating more veggies or fruit. Like it's interesting because some of my low vibe days happen on the next day, like on the Saturday, because Friday night I'll have some pizza with cheese on it, like mozzarella or whatever. So just take note of how you feel after eating certain foods, and you'll learn very quickly. Your body is more intuitive than you give it credit for. You'll learn very quickly how your body reacts to certain foods, and what foods are going to work for you and what aren't. But just know, like, every little inch of your physical vessel that you heal, you are healing some other version of you as well, in all the versions of you, and in the universe too. So yeah, it's this transition that we're all going through, this shift that we're all going through to more sustainable ways of living, more ethical ways of living. I mean, it's all part of this process. Everything is interlinked. Like, you think this movement in the world towards leaving your job and manifesting abundance, and this big move toward plant-based vegan foods, you think it's all a coincidence? No, it's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. This is the way of the future. This is the way and I don't mean beyond products that are like made in a petri dish with Lord knows what in them. So when I say plant-based, I mean like you're making your own bean or veggie burgers, or you read the veggie burger package and it's like telling you what vegetables are in it. If it's like a Beyond product that was grown in a petri dish, I would steer very, very clear of those products. In the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just get, the Beyond burger at A&W instead of like my chicken burger or whatever it is. No, I would steer very clear of, anything that's like mainstream like that and being pushed heavy by BG and celebrities and others. I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. So just know I don't recommend Beyond products, and that goes for just about every Beyond product in every restaurant. There are very few restaurants actually that have, I mean, more and more are coming up with vegan options, but just be careful because they'll contain like some beyond products too that you probably want to stay away from. But there's a couple of great vegan restaurants where I live where they list all the ingredients and you're getting good, wholesome, local, fresh ingredients. So just, do look for those types of places, because those are the types of places that are going to thrive in the new earth. Any good, clean, non-toxic products are going to be the ones that make it through this shift. Anything that is sort of dense, animal products, chemicals, pharmaceutical, like none of those are going to make it through what's coming. So anywho, I think this video is long enough, and I have now got to figure out how to splice 2 videos together. So I should head out for the day, but I just wanted to say thanks all for joining me on my YouTube channel. And if you have any questions about this health stuff, like I said, I'm just learning. I'm no expert, but put the questions in the comments section, because there's a lot of people in this community who are probably more well-versed on this than I am and can probably answer your questions. And if I can't answer the question, I will find someone who will. Okay? Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.